Dogs are big fans of physical happiness. You know that. I know that. We all know that. That's why it's so peculiar when a dog decides to buck the trend and acts significantly more cat-like in their aloofness. But it's true, some dogs just aren't the types to enjoy snuggles, cuddles, and hugs. The question is, does it mean they love you any less? And how do you connect with them, if not through pets and scratches? But before that, sorry to set these up and then pivot, it's essential to understand how dogs express affection. Because unlike humans who regularly use hugs and close physical contact to show love, dogs have some unique methods all their own. A wagging tail, especially one that moves freely and broadly, often indicates happiness and affection. We all know that. Also, when a dog leans against you, it's a sign they trust and feel safe with you. They are both literally and metaphorically leaning on you. Or maybe they're just lazy and want you to prop them up. Next, if your dog shadows you from room to room, it's their way of showing quite extreme attachment and love, even if it's a bit creepy. Let me go to the toilet alone, buddy. And finally, offering you their favorite toy is a pretty major gesture of sharing affection. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know all this. This is obvious. And yeah, I know. But the reason why I raise the points is to point out that if you're worried that your dog doesn't love you because they're not into snuggling, but they're prone to some or all of these things, well, then they do love you. They're just expressing it via other methods. Having said that, you still might want them to hug you from time to time. Who can blame you? Dog hugs are great, so let's take a moment to explore a little deeper. Outside of they just have another method of conveying their love, there are a few reasons why your dog may not be the cuddling type. Not every breed of dog is into the whole codependent thing. Labradors? Sure, you can barely shake them off. But Shiba Inus, Afghan hounds, they're lone wolves, renowned for their isolationist ways. This doesn't mean they don't love you. They're just also cool to go their own way and do their own thing from time to time. Learning to like human touch early in a dog's life is kind of crucial to ensure they're the sort of adult dog who is down to hug. We are all products of our childhoods. Those years are formative and shape who we become. This is the same for all living things. Puppies that aren't handled frequently or exposed to positive human interactions during this critical development stage might grow up to be less comfortable with close physical contact than other dogs. The proper socialization of puppies is crucial in helping dogs become well-adjusted adults. The more extreme end of this is that, sadly, dogs with a history of neglect or even abuse may unfortunately associate close contact with negative experiences. In cases like this, these dogs may be a little wary of cuddling due to past trauma. If you have a dog who avoids hugs, there's sadly a chance this is the case. In fact, if that is the case, you may well have been made aware during the adoption process. They may well change their tune with time, especially if you give them the loving home that I'm sure you do. But if not, it's best to meet them at their level and let them express their love for you in whatever way they see fit. Like one of the things I mentioned at the start of the video. Perhaps, obviously, physical discomfort can make dogs less inclined to cuddle. Such conditions that can make a hug a bit too painful for a dog would be arthritis, skin infections, or injuries. If your dog has always been a touch resistant to cuddling, it may well be one of the two reasons I've mentioned earlier. But if it is a sudden and new thing, this may be more about health. If so, I'd recommend a checkup with a vet, just to be sure. We can drive ourselves crazy trying to figure out why dogs behave the way they do, but ultimately sometimes it is as simple as, it's just their personality, yo. While all the things I've explained so far can be true, sometimes there's no reason for why they don't like hugs, beyond just, it's who they are. Just like humans, dogs have unique personalities. Some are naturally more reserved and prefer showing affection in subtler ways. And if this sounds like your dog, it might just be their vibe, and that's fine. Does this mean your dog doesn't love you? Absolutely not. They hate you for other reasons. I'm not kidding. Your dog adores you, and a lack of interest in cuddling doesn't equate to a lack of affection at all. As explored, dogs express love in a myriad of ways, but if hugs aren't their vibe, they just aren't, and that's that. But you might be worried about how to build a bond with your dog if they won't let you hug them, because a good cuddle is normally such a great way to connect with those you love. If this is how you feel, there are two routes you can take. Option 1 is to explore ways to connect beyond hugging. Option 2 is to figure out how to make them feel more comfortable about hugs. Which of these two approaches you take is ultimately up to you, so don't worry, I've got advice for both possible avenues depending on what you'd be looking to do. Let's start with how to build a stronger bond without cuddling. If your dog isn't a fan of cuddling and you're looking for other ways to connect, there's a mountain of options. Engage in games your dog enjoys. You know the ones. It's all the classics: fetch, tug of war, Mario Kart, hide and seek. One of those might have been a lie. Playtime is a fantastic way to build trust and connection. And positive reinforcement training. It not only teaches your dog new skills, but also enhances your relationship. So in training them to be more behaved or to learn new tricks, their comfort around you grows, and that might lead to hugs. It's win-win. And if that wasn't enough, it also provides them with mental stimulation and fosters communication between you. Walks. And no, I don't mean the 2 short walks you might take them on normally. I mean a proper exploratory adventure in a brand new environment. From hikes in the woods to strolls, a stroll in an all-new neighborhood, adventuring together like this can be a truly rewarding experience. A hike in the woods or a stroll in a new neighborhood can be a beautiful bonding experience. Hugs are overrated anyway. And after the both of you are tired out, many dogs find gentle brushing extremely relaxing. It's a way to possibly provide physical contact without the intensity of cuddling, if that's not their thing. If you heard all those ideas and have thought to yourself, nope, no thanks, I want hugs and that's that, there are a few ways to encourage your dog to become more comfortable with cuddling. First thing is, do what you can to associate touch with positive experiences. For example, gently petting your dog while offering treats or during their feeding times. Amazing how much of training dogs boils down to trick them with food. With time, most dogs can be eased into embracing any kind of activity. But throwing them into the deep end with constant full-on bear hugs might not be wise. Try easing them in with brief periods of close contact and gradually increase the duration as your dog starts to become more comfortable, if they do. In your journey to turn them into a cuddle bug, really pay attention to their body language and watch out for signs of discomfort. Classic examples include tensing, yawning, or lip licking. Try hugging your dog and, if they do any of these things, pull away to make it clear you have clocked they aren't loving it, so you are willing to stop. Regardless of if you're trying to train your dog to be more into hugs or not, giving them their own cozy little spaces is always a good idea. These spots will make them feel more than comfy. It'll make them feel safe. If you then chill with them in or near their space, it'll slowly encourage physical closeness between you, which may soon escalate into an embracing of more physical touch. But if you feel or even know for sure that your dog's aversion to touch definitely stems from anxiety or past trauma, there will be little you can do on your own to undo that. In such a situation, there's no shame in consulting a professional dog behaviorist for guidance. In fact, I'd go so far as to recommend it. If you do go down this route, it is essential to respect their boundaries and recognize the other signs of affection they display. Forcing your dog to cuddle can lead to stress and may harm the trust you've built more than build upon it. So proceed with caution. Nobody should have a hug forced upon them that they don't want. Ultimately, every dog is different, and what matters is that they're happy. And you'll know they are if they are hanging in their favorite spot. Want to know what your dog's favorite spot says about them? Watch the next video.